All right, so we're gonna get started with the eyes. I went ahead and I skipped the brows because you guys have seen me do those a million times. However, if you do want like an updated in-depth brow routine, let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know whether you'd like to see that information in a short, like a YouTube short, or a YouTube video, like an actual in-depth longer version. So we're gonna go ahead and get the eyes primed with the Milani eyeshadow primer. Just taking a little bit of that onto my ring fingers, just applying it with my ring finger, just a nice light layer. And this stuff sets so quickly, so you don't have to wait a whole lot after placing it on the lid to get started with eyeshadows. Now for today's eye look, we're using the Milani Luminoso eyeshadow palette. This is what it looks like. Look at this. So I'm going to start off with the deepest of the matte tones, which is this shade here. It's called Horizon. It's a nice brown, like a reddish brown. And I'm taking this with my BK Beauty brush. This is their 206. Look how fluffy this thing is. I really like it for initiating any kind of an eyeshadow look. I love fluffy brushes like this because they give me a really good amount of product. And because the brush is so nice and fluffy, it's going to blend in the eyeshadow as you're pressing it on to the eye. So you don't need to blend afterward. You're kind of doing both at the same time. And then I'm going to take the shade in the Clouds, which is a lighter brown, with the same brush, and I'm placing that here along the edges of the previous eyeshadow shade. So that's just going to help to diffuse the edges and blend it into the rest of the eye. And up here I'm just dragging the brush very, very lightly back and forth. Next, with my finger, I'm taking the shade Dusk, and this is going to go here along the inner half of the mobile lid area. So just placing it right here, dragging it all the way to the inner corner and up to the crease. Right? And along the center of the eye, I'm taking the shade Luminoso because why wouldn't I, you know? I'm just popping it right here. And then again, going back to my fluffy brush without any additional product, just to blend it along the edges like that. So next, of course, lashes, mascara. And this is the highly rated anti-gravity mascara from Milani. Holy cow, okay? Just wait. You only need like 1 to 2 coats and your lashes look so long, so full, just crazy volume, crazy length. Just take it at the base and wiggle my way up. And even just with the 1 coat, I mean, you can already see the difference. All right, next comes my most favorite part, and hopefully your most favorite part too, the under eyes. And for that, I am taking my new obsession. This is the Putty Color Correcting Eye Brightener from e.l.f. This one is in the shade Medium Tan. Looks like this. And this is what we're going to use to brighten up and color correct the under eye darkness. This color corrector is pigmented enough to where it really does make a big difference. And it is also very hydrating, which is going to give you like that nice barrier in between your skin and your concealer and your setting powder so that it looks great all day long. For foundation, this is the one that I chose for today. This is the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. Everybody knows about this one. Everybody loves it. I still really like it. Lately, I've just been leaning more toward my powder foundations just because of how hot it's been, but I still occasionally grab this. I just use a very small amount, like very minimal amount, because that's going to give you more of that natural coverage rather than full coverage, which this absolutely gives you. And this one's in the shade 330W. And this actually, you know, it might be a tad bit, just a little bit too yellow. So I'm going to mix in a little bit of my e.l.f. camo color corrector in the shade blue, obviously. Just putting a small amount in there to tone down the yellowness because I feel like that might look a little too yellow on my complexion. Oh yeah, that's much better. And I'm going to take it with my multitasker brush from Sigma. This is their F47. And like I said, I'm just being very, very light-handed with this. You really don't need a lot of this product at all. A little bit more over here, around the nose, on the nose. And just a tiny bit on the forehead. And it's just going to give you a more even complexion without completely concealing everything that you have going on underneath. It's still going to look like skin. It's just going to look like your skin, but better. Which, you guys know, I love products like that. Your skin, but better? Absolutely, yes. Now for concealer today, we're going to be using the Ulta Beauty Full Coverage Concealer. This one is in the shade Medium Neutral. Now if you're outside of the US or you don't have access to an Ulta Beauty product, I would also highly recommend the CoverGirl Outlast Concealer, as well as the Catrice One Drop Weightless Concealer. That one's such a good concealer, full coverage, very, very lightweight. Their Camouflage Concealer, high coverage concealer, also from Catrice. That one's very, very good, but it is pretty fragranced, which is why I don't grab it as much as the One Drop Concealer. Also Pacifica, the Dreamlit Glow Concealer. That one is really good. I'm not really sure where they ship to though, so I may have to look at that. But there are a lot of really good ones in the drugstore, just in case you don't have access to the Ulta Beauty one. Now, this particular shade is a bit too yellow for me, as you can clearly see, just a little bit, but we're gonna do the exact same thing that I did with the foundation. Is just add a tiny bit of blue in there, and all of a sudden we've got ourselves a more neutral concealer shade. What I love about being able to mix in like blues into your foundations or concealers, or like reds or yellows, is that you can definitely mix and customize. You can play around with the ratios and see what works best underneath your eyes or on top of your face, you know, like foundation wise. It's just, I love how customizable it all is, because a lot of the times you will have like that concealer or that foundation that you love, but you can't wear year round, or that you love, but it doesn't match you anymore, and you don't necessarily want to buy a completely new shade just so that you can keep using it. You want to use up what you have. That is a great alternative, you know, great way of making everything last. So that's what my shade looks like now. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to take it with my Real Techniques Expert Concealer Brush. And I'm going to concentrate most of the product right here along the inner corner. All right, concealer is done, but not completely done. We're gonna come back to the under eye area because I still need to set it. But before setting or doing anything with powders, we have to take care of all of our liquids and the rest of our cream products, which for me are bronzer and blush / highlighter. This one is from Milani. This is in the shade Luminoso, so 05. It is a liquid blush as well as a highlighter, so 2-in-1. It looks gorgeous. It's just such a beautiful, beautiful shade. And this is from e.l.f. This is their Putty Bronzer. So we're gonna start off with the bronzer. So I'm using BK Beauty's 108 brush in order to dip into the bronzer. And I'm going to be placing this not directly in the hollows of the cheeks, but right above it. And I'm going to be blending up. So right here is where we're going to start. So we're going to start at the hollow, but we're going to be blending it up. And this is just going to give us that more lifted appearance rather than, you know, having it look a little bit weighed down or maybe like too wide. You're just lifting your cheekbone where it naturally lands because you're following your own bone structure. If you ever feel like you went a little bit too heavy-handed or a little bit too far down, all you have to do is just go back with your foundation brush. Don't add anything else to it, and you can blend that away. Now next, we have to finish off the cheeks with a little bit of a blush highlight duo. And honestly, look how beautiful this is. See that? It is just, oh. It's stunning. It looks really nice and subtle. Doesn't overdo it. And I'm taking my e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. I'm using the large side. I'm going to grab a little bit of this with the brush. And this is what I'm going to use on the cheeks. It's very, very subtle. Very, very nice and light. It does not disturb your foundation underneath it, which is what I love about it. All right, now we can go back to the eyes, but I need to blend it out again because this concealer really needs to be set. Like it really, really does. So I'm just going back with the concealer brush that I first blended it out with. I'm just making sure that everything looks nice and smooth before I go with a setting powder, or go in with the setting powder and set it in place. Now, for setting powder, I think I may have found our Trip and Smooth setting powder dupe, okay? This is from Milani. It is their Conceal Plus Perfect Blur Out Powder. It is so finely milled. It really, truly feels like the Oma Beauty one. It acts the same. It looks the same. The texture, everything about it. It's really good. So I'm going to take a little bit of this powder. Does it have a shade? Yes, it does. It's translucent, but not really because it does look like it has a little bit of pigment in it, but not much for sure. So anyway, I'm going to take a little bit of this powder with my triangular powder puff. These I got from Amazon. I'll link them down below in case you guys are interested. And this is how we are going to set the under eye area. Next, we're going to take our Brightening Peach Powder from NYX. Okay, it's the Can't Stop, Won't Stop Brightening Peach Powder. So you're going to take a little bit of this with your little powder puff. Just press it a few times. And this is what you're going to use underneath the eyes. Every time I apply it, I kind of like reassess the under eye area. If it still looks like it needs a little bit of extra coverage or perhaps it looks a little bit too yellow, I'll go back, I'll get a little bit more and just add a little bit more onto the under eye. And you see, you can already see the difference. It brightens a little bit, but not too much. It highlights a little bit, but not too much. And it also adds a little bit of extra coverage, which you guys know I love. I love extra coverage. Why not? All right, let's finish the eyes completely. We're gonna go back to the Luminoso palette. And with my detailed blending brush from Sigma Beauty, this is their E27, I'm grabbing Horizon as well as In the Clouds. Just mixing those two together. And I'm gonna run this under the eye. Just back and forth, back and forth. And then of course, finishing it off with a little bit of mascara. Now for lips, I'm taking a lip pencil. This one's from NYX. It is their Line Loud lip pencil in the shade Gold Crusher. These guys are super pigmented, super easy to work with. It acts as a nice base and then you just, can throw on some lip oil or lip gloss, or in my case, what I'm gonna do today is a lip balm. This one is from Catrice in the shade Sparkle. So first going in with the lip liner. All right, lip liner is done, and this is the Catrice lip balm. So this is just gonna add a bit of shine. And it kind of turns the lip liner into a lipstick, is what it does. And last but not least, setting spray, okay? It has been super hot, super humid, and because of that, we are going with the NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. And we're done. It's So that completes today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly hope that you enjoyed today's makeup tutorial and that you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, share, like, any and all of those things really do go a long way here on YouTube, and I appreciate you all so much for taking the time to do any of that if you choose to do so, which I hope you choose to do so because it really helps out the channel and it keeps me going here on YouTube. So thank you all so much for the love and support. Take care, and I will see you all in my next video. Mwah! Bye.